All right, everybody, we are back. We are back for another stream. So, today we're going to be talking about what horror movies are coming out in 2026. And honestly, there's a lot. You know what I mean? There's a lot of good ones. I was going through a list to check out what we're actually working with, and we got a lot of good stuff. So, very excited for that. Um, let's see. As far as what I've been watching this week, before we get into that, I've been watching a lot of the Saw movies actually on Peacock. If you know, they're on Peacock as we speak. Um, all of them, all 10. And I never got to see Saw X. And I watched it for the first time yesterday. Pretty good. A lot of people were hyping that movie up a lot for me. And for me, I thought it was just fine. I don't think it was anything to really, you know, get too hyped for, but I thought it was fine. Um, then I went back and rewatched the first Saw, and I'm gonna try to go through them, in the next month or so, and just kind of get through all of them because I've never seen all of them. I never seen all of them in order or anything like that. So I'm gonna go back and rewatch all of them in the meantime. But as far as Saw X goes, for the first time watching it, I thought it was all right. Nothing crazy. Really cool kills, but that's kind of expected of Saw. And as far as the story goes, I do like how there was kind of like a main character, and it was John Kramer. So that was pretty cool. Let's see. But let me know in the comments what you've been watching, or if you want to give a shout out to anything in particular. I did go and see that new movie, Primate, and I liked it a lot. I'll put out the review as soon as we're done with the live stream. I have the review ready to go. But just as a quick little thing, I really enjoyed myself. If you like horror, if you like bloody, gory stuff, it goes there. It goes there hard. It doesn't leave anything on the table. And I think you really enjoy it. So if you're looking for something to watch this weekend in the theaters, highly recommend Primate. Um, so having said that, I mean, now let's get started. Once again, chime in the comments so you can have a conversation. Okay, so first thing, kind of branching off of Primate. Primate was essentially the first big horror movie. Well, I guess the We Bury the Dead, but I never got to see that one. So there was that one, and then Primate so far, and that was my first movie. Primate was my first theater going experience of the new year. So that was pretty cool. It was actually off to a really good start. But that was essentially the first horror movie of the year in my eyes. And then next week we get 28 years later, The Bone Temple. And look, I'm a big defender. I don't know about a big defender, but I'm a defender of the first 28 years later. I really enjoyed myself with that. I liked how it went from being the expectation of a like just straight up gory zombie movie, right? I wanted that and I got that with that. But then it like the second half of the movie is very emotional and very like just Spike and his mom and just kind of the way the movie went, very unexpected, and I really liked that. Just because the movie had more layers to it than just let's bring on the violence and the gore. So I really dug that. I was so concerned for Bone Temple. For one, there shouldn't be a reason, but it was a reason. The director is Nia DaCosta, and I liked her version of Candyman, the newer Candyman that came out. Keep in mind that was not a Jordan Peele movie. I hate it when they brand him as a producer, but they throw his name out there all the time for that, for him, all this stuff, and it's like, come on now. But anyway, I liked her Candyman. The Marvels was an awful movie. When that movie came out, what, 2 years ago, whatever it was, awful movie. And I know she had little to do with that. I think it was more so Marvel and Disney and just that whole crap and everything that they pull. So there was that. But she's directing this. Okay. Another good thing that kind of got me a little bit more hyped for it and more of a believer for it is that they filmed them back to back. So they filmed 28 years later. She came in and filmed 28 years later The Bone Temple. And something that really got me more excited for this is that, y'all, the reviews are already out. Essentially, a lot of social media people, a lot of early screeners got to go and watch this movie and they love it. I've not seen one single thing that has said anything other than it's fantastic. So that kind of blew my mind of going like, especially at the end, 28 years later, who knows how that could have gone. But it looks like Bone Temple is going to be phenomenal. I'm going to go see it next week. Let me know what you think. Corey, what's up? I'm doing pretty good. Just started the conversation of like horror movies in 2026. Very excited about stuff. Yes, was that you? Was that you, Corey, for Resident Evil? Man, Resident Evil's gonna be sick. We have a lot of reason to believe it won't be, but I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be real good. Let's see. especially with Zach Kreger doing it. You know what I mean? I liked Weapons a lot. I loved Barbarian. I think he just kind of takes whatever ideas he has and just goes right. Like he doesn't hold back creatively or just anything. I think he makes a really good movie. I only has two right now, but I love them. Mr. Shadowcat, thank you for the 67 jewels. David, what's up? What is up, everybody? So, what I'm doing right now, the structure for this is obviously we can talk about whatever, but for the 2026 horror movies, I'm kind of going in order of like the release, and I'm gonna skip over a few because I can't do all of them. But we just talked about 28 years later, Bone Temple. Is anyone gonna go see that? That's next week. It's gonna be awesome. I have heard from many people. But as far as that goes, there's that. And then a movie that I saw the trailer once for in the theater, and it looked insane. It looks crazy, but it's called Psycho Killer. I think it's from the people that have brought us. Was it Barbarian? I don't know. But anyway, Psycho Killer looks crazy. That name just cracks me up because that's just such a generic, weird name for a movie. But when you see the trailer and it gives you that, you're like, hey, that's pretty on brand. But that looks really cool. I don't really know who's in it, but that should be on your radar for horror movies. I'm gonna look that up real quick, y'all. I'm trying to stay away from stuff as much as I can as far as horror movies go because we're like the trailers do have to give away some jump scares or some plot points and stuff like that. So I try to stay away from it as much as I can. So like the Psycho Killer movie I'm talking about, I'm not gonna go out and look for another trailer for it. The first trailer sold me. But yeah, like even the poster is like I'm in. Let's see. So Malcolm McDowell is in it. I don't know. It doesn't have a role for him. A lot of people I don't know, which is even better. I love that. Perfect. That's what I want to see. Okay, so then that's in February, and then the end of February, we have Scream 7. Any Scream fans out there? I love Scream. I've kind of come to the conclusion that Scream and Child's Play. I love that stuff. Like Child's Play because of Chucky, the personality, love all that stuff. I think he's so much fun to watch. And then Scream, I love the mystery of who it is, right? Growing up, I really loved Michael Myers, and I still do. I think he's awesome. But like Michael Myers just doesn't have that personality of like kind of anything, right? He's just this weird, creepy, shadowy figure, which is awesome. Once again, love the series, love the character, but there's nothing there. You know what I mean? We already know who's behind the mask, and it's Michael Myers. There's no mystery there. It is what it is. But with Scream, it's always someone new as Ghostface, and I love that. I love figuring out who it is. I love the gore. I love the campiness of it all. I love the meta-ness. It's just so much fun. I will say Scream 6, the last one, kind of fumbled it at the end for me. Loved everything. Like I loved everything it was doing up until the last like 10 minutes. Once the reveals happened, didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. And then everything that happened after that started to hate it. But I'm looking forward to Scream 7, and it kind of makes you wonder. So Naomi Campbell is coming back as Sydney Prescott, right? Not Naomi. Yeah, Sydney Prescott's coming back, and I missed her in the sixth one. I missed her a lot, but it makes you think: how long is she gonna do this? Right? Is she the longest running like final girl in horror history? Right at this point, I'm sure she's not, but maybe there's gonna be a point where she will not come back for one reason or another. Like permanently, right? It'll be like 2 or 3 movies in without her. That's gonna come. It's gonna happen eventually. I don't know how it's gonna look, but I am happy that she's back in this. I am concerned that they're gonna overcorrect with Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega leaving. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm interested. Apparently, Matthew Lillard is back. That's kind of interesting. Wonder what they're gonna do with that. And I hope that it's not just a flashback or something because that would be really misleading to the fans. They told us, hey, they made a big announcement, right? Matthew Lillard's coming back, and that's like something that we've all wanted since the first Scream. And if he just comes back in like one short flashback or memory or something, that's going to probably rub people the wrong way. And it'd probably rub me the wrong way too. Oh, Has anyone seen Five Nights at Freddy's, the new one? So I'm not a fan. I went to go see it, and then I knew that Matthew Lillard was in it because he was in the first one, so I knew he was going to be in this one. He's hardly in the thing. So there's one like issue with Five Nights at Freddy's. I was like, okay, well, that was one thing I wanted to see, and we didn't get that. But I forgot that Skeet Ulrich was in it too. So like we had like a Scream reunion. And once I saw him on the screen, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. He was supposed to be in this. Dude's in it for like 3 minutes, and not even with Matthew Lillard. So it was just very, you know, underwhelming. And I know a lot of people that went to go see that movie are probably kids, right? That don't have that connection with the original Scream. They don't understand the meaning of these characters, so they probably didn't care. But I cared. All right, the next movie is in April, and I do have some news on this one. All right, it's called The Mummy. It's going to be Lee Cronin's The Mummy. Now, this isn't the newly announced one with Brendan Fraser coming back, nothing like that. Arthur, thank you. I'm doing pretty good. How are you? Um, oh yeah, so the Mummy, the guy who did Evil Dead Rise is coming to do The Mummy. It's already filmed, it's wrapped. And I was super hyped for this because if you've seen Evil Dead Rise, you know that that movie was gnarly, it was brutal, it was all this stuff. And I'm like, cool, we got a horror minded guy coming to do another Mummy movie. Sick. Still hyped for it, but apparently there's some news. I think it came out this week. I believe it was this week was the news. There's been some early screenings, y'all, and they're not good. There's a report, and keep in mind, this is all just rumors, speculation, all that stuff, that they had none other than when I'm on stream, sometimes I James Wan. Sometimes I forget names. James Wan was in there. The king of horror. Like as far as I'm concerned, James Wan is the king of horror for the modern day. Right? You can make arguments against other people, but he's fantastic. And apparently, he walked out of the screening. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But if he walked out, that says something bad. That says something real, real bad. Sherry, what's going on? So I was gonna put The Mummy on my list of like most anticipated horror, actually most anticipated movies of next year, and then I took it off and just kind of because it wasn't quite there. The other movies like beat it there, but I yeah, I'm kind of concerned now, and I'm more concerned now because it's coming out in April. Like that's right around the corner, in a sense. My channel is all about movies and TV stuff like that. I kind of cover everything. I do a lot of recaps on the channel. Um, I just put out one for 28 years later. Since that comes out next week, I'm gonna put one out tomorrow for the Apple TV show Hijack. So I'm just doing a lot of stuff as far as recaps go, and then I review movies, stuff like that. So yeah, as far as the Mummy goes, a little concerned about that, but hopefully they can get it out, and hopefully it's good. And hopefully those rumors were false. Let's see. And then a movie that I saw a trailer to. This comes out in May 1st. I was in the theater. I don't remember what movie I was going to see, but the trailer started. And I was like, oh, I haven't seen this trailer. I go to the movies probably once a week, so I see a lot of the same trailers again and again. I was like, oh, this is a new one. Cool. Looks kind of creepy. About 5, 6, 7 seconds into the trailer, this image pops up. And it's the creepiest image I've ever seen in my life. Maybe top three. And it's for this new movie called Hokum. And it stars Adam Scott, the guy from Step Brothers, Severance, main character in Severance. And the trailer doesn't give much of what it is. You can look at the synopsis, and the trailer does a great job of just not showing anything, but it shows you enough to be like, that's going to be hardcore. And yeah, I can't wait to see that one. That one's going to be fantastic. Once again, don't know much about it, but we'll see. How much is popcorn in your theater? I think I don't get popcorn. Like I have the Regal Unlimited thing, so I earn points that way. And then whenever I have enough points, I'll get a popcorn. But I want to say the small starts at 10, give or take $1. I think that's what it is. It's crazy, and that's why I don't get popcorn. Actually, you know what I do? I got this big old box of like little bags of popcorn from Costco, and I just grab one of those most of the time and just take it in and just have popcorn that way until I get enough points, and then I get the big one if I want popcorn that time. There was hold on, A24. There was a movie I forgot to put on here, y'all. that just got a trailer the other day. That's not it. Okay, it's called Undertone. I don't know if y'all have seen the trailer for this. That looks insane. Undertone. So it looks scary, right? It's about this podcaster who gets files and she's making, she's doing her episode of the podcast and like bad stuff starts happening. Okay, pretty generic, but pretty cool. The trailer is very creepy, and apparently this debuted at a film festival. I'm not sure which one last year. So tons of people on social media are saying, "Hey, this is as scary as it looks," and people are really hyped for it. So keep a lookout for that one. That one looks really cool. Once again, it's called Undertone. The trailer just came out. Yeah, see, popcorn's way too much. Way too much. And you'll go into a theater and you'll see people with just buckets of stuff from the concession, and I'm like, how? This trip went from however much tickets are, $10, whatever it is, to like 50. It's crazy. It's crazy. But whatever people want to do, right? And then another movie coming out this summer is called Evil Dead Burn. So another Evil Dead movie there. No images, no. I'm not sure if there's any details on it yet. But I mean, I can't see a world where this movie comes out and it makes someone that didn't like Evil Dead movies a fan. But I'm there because I do like those movies. They're pretty cool. I'm not like a massive, huge fan of Evil Dead movies, but I do like them. So, any good ones to watch this month? Yeah, I just went and saw Primate that just came out yesterday in theaters. It's about a chimpanzee who gets rabies. You can see what happens. Very gory. So if you are kind of going in expecting kind of just whatever, it gets pretty wild, and I did like that about that. And then next week, 28 years later, The Bone Temple comes out, and I think that's all I have for January. Let's see. Sorry, y'all, I'm a little congested today. When does this come out? Oh, there's two actually. There's two others that are coming out this. There's three others. I'm dropping the ball, y'all. Okay, so other than those two for this month, you also have Return to Silent Hill, based on the video games. Send Help, which is that new Sam Raimi one where you have Dylan O'Brien and Rachel McAdams stranded on an island. And then you have the Markiplier movie Iron Lung. I think that's based on a video game. I could be wrong, but those are three others. So actually, now you mention it, January has a ton. January has a lot of different horror movies coming out. So that's pretty cool. Kind of something every week is what it looks like. So you can check out people's reviews. Well, I guess they're not technically reviews. They're like the out of theater reactions already on Bone Temple. I guess they were super confident on it, and they brought tons of people to watch it early. And that was about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they love it. People love this movie. Like they say, like some of them are people that didn't like the first one, which I thought was good, but they love this one. So go look that up because people are already talking about it, which is pretty cool. And then we get into the fall. Okay, and once again, I'm probably skipping a ton of them, but these are like the big ones that I could think of. We have Clayface, the new DCU movie, body horror. It's a Batman villain. I don't know how or what direction they're going with this, but it's written by Mike Flanagan, who's one of my favorite people working today. Writer, director, doesn't matter. I think he does pretty much everything perfectly. So he wrote the movie, and then who's the director? I forgot his name. Watkins, I think. James Watkins. So James Watkins is directing Clayface, and he's the guy who did the new Speak No Evil, and he also did I don't know if any of y'all have seen this movie, but Eden Lake. Eden Lake is gnarly. Eden Lake is like that's a tough one to watch, but it has Michael Fassbender. It's about these and you can find this one probably on Tubi. I think that's where I watched it. But it's about this couple who's going to a lake for like a weekend. Maybe it's their anniversary. I don't know. and they start getting heckled by these teenagers. And then eventually they start butting heads and things just get more violent and it gets crazy. And it's one of those movies that doesn't have a happy ending. It's not meant to be a happy movie. And it just goes in places that I had no idea that it was going to go. Once again, very hard to watch. It's just crazy to see Michael Fassbender, which is, he's probably been in a lot of other crazy stuff, but you know, all I think of, not all I think of, but I think of him as like Magneto and stuff like that. Very brutal movie. So the director of that's doing Clayface, and that just, oh, it's good. It has to be good. If it's bad, I'll talk about it, and I will say that it's bad. You know what I mean? But it's got to be good. I mean, there's too much going for it. What's the plot of the Silent Hill film? So I don't know exactly the details, but I know it's based on Silent Hill 2. So if you played Silent Hill 2, that's what it should be based on. I know it's got the same character. He looks a little different than in the games. There's Pyramid Head in it, but Pyramid Head was in the other movies too. But from what I know, it's based on Silent Hill 2, which I still need to play. I never played. The only Silent Hill games that I actually played and finished was 3 years ago. I'm talking 15 years ago or something. I want to get the remake of 2 because that's been out for a while. So I gotta check that out. Do you play Five Nights at Freddy's? I don't. I don't play them. I've seen people play them. It's just not my jam. It looks scary. It looks cool. Like it looks like it'd be a fun game, but I think it's just not. Yeah, it's just not for me. As far as scary games go, though, I play like Resident Evil. I want to get the new Dead Space remake. I haven't played video games and well, that's a lie. I play video games, but just very sporadic. You know what I mean? Not like I used to, and I wish I could now, but you know, doing other things. But Resident Evil 9 comes out next month. Now that we're on the topic, now we'll be getting that because Resident Evil 9 is sick. Someone asked me this question last stream. My favorite game. I don't know what my favorite game is. I can give you a few of them. Banjo Kazooie, back on the N64. I love that one. I don't know which Resident Evil, but I feel like that's got to be on there. A game that I really liked is Detroit Become Human on PlayStation. I think it's on PC now too. It's a little bit older, but that's a really cool game. You know what? I don't think any of those are actually my favorite games though. Maybe like Ocarina of Time, like Zelda, maybe, or Metroid Prime. I mean, I don't know. I'm a big PlayStation guy for so long, and then I play Nintendo too. Um, yeah, maybe those. I still don't know if that's the right answer. I don't know. It's something like that. What about you, French Fry Man the First? What's your favorite game? Let's see. And we talked about Resident Evil coming out. It comes out the week after Clayface. So in September, we're getting potentially 2 major pop culture movies. Pretty cool. Pretty awesome. I don't think there's anything to be said more about Resident Evil. We talked about that a little bit earlier. I mean, Zach Kreger's doing it. He did Weapons, Barbarian. They're filming it right now. Unless they wrapped up. They've been filming it for a little bit. Apparently he's taking his like the inspiration from the games, but he's doing his own deal with it. His own thing, which based on these last 2 movies of his, do your thing, man. Do your thing. I don't know how I'll feel if he does his own thing. It's very, very loosely based on the games, and he doesn't include characters from the games because it sounds like he's not. And to me, at that point, call it something else. Don't call it Resident Evil because you're just going to piss off a lot of fans. Like, that's what they did with Until Dawn last year. And I'm a massive Until Dawn fan. Me and my wife, we play that game over and over. We platinumed it. Like, we know like that game inside and out. And the movie, I see what they're doing with it, but it just wasn't the game. And that just kind of alienates people, you know? Brandy, hello. How you doing? But as far as Resident Evil goes, it's got to be good. I trust him, do whatever he wants with it. But being such a diehard fan of the games, it's just got to hit that mark for me. I'd be very disappointed if it doesn't. And then the last movie I wrote down, and once again, chime in if you can think of another movie that we haven't talked about yet. But the last big horror movie of next year is Wereulf, the new Robert Eggers movie, which I will say, and I'll admit, Robert Eggers is a director who has his own style that you'll either love or it's not going to be your thing, right? That's not going to be your thing at all. For me, it's definitely more of my thing than not. And what I mean by that is The Witch, phenomenal. The Witch is like incredible, like on every aspect, the story, the scares, the atmosphere, the sound, everything. The Lighthouse was a little weird for me. And I remember watching it, really hyped to watch it because so many people said so many good things about it, right? Well, I watched it and I was a little bit underwhelmed. And I think I went into it with way too much, hype, just too much. I was expecting too much because it's a weird movie, but it's so creative. So I do want to go back and rewatch that. The Northman was, I think, the latest movie of his that I finally watched, and I liked it for like three quarters of it. But once again, everything that he does, it's that style, it's that atmosphere, it's all this stuff that works so well for me. So I really liked what he did, and the Nosferatu is fantastic, just like The Witch. Those two I think are my favorite from him. But the fact that he's kind of bringing back almost everybody from Nosferatu to do Werewolf, pretty gnarly. I'm all for it, and it's gonna be like old broken English from back whenever it's set, and he loves period pieces, as you can tell, and he makes it as authentic as possible. So I think this has a lot of potential, honestly. But those are the movies that I wanted to give a shout out to for 2026. There are other ones that aren't really. Oh, there was one more. It comes out this summer. It's called Obsession. It's from the YouTube channel, or it's from what's his name? Curry Barker, who's part of That's a Bad Idea. It's the YouTube channel. They do funny skits. They make movies, and a lot of their movies are horror movies. Like I don't know if any of you all have seen Milk and Cereal. That one came out about a year or two ago. It's about an hour long or so. It's good. It's like a found footage kind of movie. It's so good. Anyway, I don't want to say secretly, but I didn't know about it. He filmed this whole movie called Obsession. It debuted at a film festival, and Focus Features, I believe. Yeah, I think it's Focus Features, bought the movie, and now they're distributing it this summer. And basically, it's about I don't want to say it's a genie, but someone makes what's it called? A wish for this girl to like him. And that's kind of all they give you. And the trailer is so creepy. I do recommend watching the trailer because it doesn't give anything away. So that's like one instance where I'd like watch it because it just sets the tone, and I don't want to see anything else from this. I'm going to try to go in as blind as possible. Once again, that's what I try to do with all my horror movies. They're just better that way. Honestly, all movies are better that way, but especially horror movies. Okay, so what was I going to do now? That's really about it as far as the topic for today. But I mean, we could talk about whatever. I see that Fire and Ash Avatar is number one again for the fourth week in a row. Pretty cool. That's another franchise that you either love it or you hate it. And nothing's going to change your mind on that. And I just think that's pretty cool. Oh yeah, what's everyone's take on Doomsday? With all like how they're marketing the trailers. I'm assuming that the last trailer or the first big thing is going to be during the Super Bowl, right? Like it has to be. So, I mean, I'm not a fan of how they're doing this, right? The Captain America thing really pissed me off because he was my favorite from the series, and I don't want him back. The chapter's done. You're already doing too much with Robert Downey. I don't want this. Thor's was a lot better, and the X-Men one was pretty cool. The Cyclops part was pretty cool. Still not hyped for it though. I don't see it. I don't see how it's gonna work. Yuli, what's going on? Shane, yeah, I have some green lights going. I have more back here, and you'll see those in like my full videos, like my long form videos. But I have to like angle it this way for the live streams. But it is what it is. As Above, So Below is a banger. As Above, So Below. I have such good memories of that movie because I don't remember exactly how it happened, but somehow I got my wife to watch this with me. Neither of us have seen this, and she doesn't really care for horror movies, doesn't really like them. She sat through it, terrified. And yeah, that movie's great. I think it's so scary. That's a great one. And that's another thing. Like, found footage movies are such a tight niche that really resonates with people, and then everyone else not their thing. And I actually understand that completely, because it can get so boring with found footage. That movie that came out last year, the YouTuber Shelby Oaks, that movie, the beginning of it is found footage, and I think it's so engaging. I think it's phenomenal. And then the movie cuts to a more traditional movie, and then it lost me. And that was an instance where I was like, they should have just stuck with the found footage. I was awesome, but it is what it is. Um, that's true, Shane. There's already a Doomsday out there, and it's not Marvel. It's a cool name though. I do like that name for the subtitle Avengers Doomsday. That's pretty cool. Um, but that is true. I have thought of that a few times. Not every time I talk about it or hear it, but that's very true. I do hear or think about DC. You know what'd be cool for DC is giving us, I think it's the death of Superman, when Doomsday comes and kills Superman. That'd be pretty interesting down the road. I think they should explore that. Once, like, I don't know if you've seen the movie, the animated movie, phenomenal. And once all the characters are established, they could be there, and then they all have to take on Doomsday. Like, I think that was a good setup. Shane, I've never seen Chronicle. Can you believe that? I've known about it since it came out. I just never got around to checking it out. I know it's fantastic. I know I've heard countless times how great that movie is. I just got to get around to it. I thought I was supposed to get a sequel at some point too. I think they were supposed to, but yeah, it never came to be, which is crazy because once again, everyone likes it. Where's some other good found footage? Oh, Wreck is really good. I really like the movie Wreck. There's a movie I watched sometime last year, and it was called Mungo Lake, or Lake Mungo. I'm sorry, Lake Mungo. That one was pretty creepy. But I think my favorite, maybe not my favorite, but maybe like top three favorite ones for found footage is a Hell House LLC. Have y'all seen that? That is crazy. Shane, I kind of like. So once again, I haven't seen Chronicle, but I do like, depending on the situation, depending on the story, depending on a lot of things, open-ended movies like that just make a lot of sense, especially for the found footage. I think the found footage is kind of the only thing that you can get away with without giving us a proper ending. So that's pretty cool. And maybe they were planning to make a second one. Like, we established that, but like maybe that was really a thing and they were just, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Kind of disappointing though. And I think it's a little bit too late to go back and do it again, but maybe Shutter Island was cool. I dug that. I like Shutter Island for a lot of reasons, but I think the biggest reason is, yeah, the ending, because now that you have finished it, you kind of understand what's going on. You think you understand what's going on. You go back and rewatch it, and then you still are kind of left at the end, not really sure. So you watch it again. And like, I've seen that movie maybe three or four times throughout my life. And yeah, like, I go into it being like, oh, they told you what it was. But then you're like, but what if it isn't? And I do like that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, Shutter Island's great. I need to check out that new Leo movie, One Battle After Another. I missed it when it came to theaters. I was on vacation, and then I know it's on Max now, but my wife's a big Leo fan, so we're gonna watch it together. So we're just trying to find the right time to sit down and watch it because I know it's a long one, so I gotta figure that out. Let's see. I still need to watch Grave Encounters. I haven't seen that yet, which is also on Tubi. Y'all, Tubi is like the place to go for horror movies. Absolutely. Oh, Creep. Creep's another good one. Yeah, there's a lot. So let's look at the poll, y'all. Looks like Resident Evil is leading the pack of those in the poll, and then other people are thinking other movies. Sweet. Let me see if anything else is popping up news wise. Anyone looking forward to the Carrie movie, the Carrie show coming to Prime this year from Mike Flanagan? That I haven't seen. So I haven't seen the original Carrie in years. In like years. So like 15, 20 years maybe. I don't remember the last time I saw it, but I kind of want to read the book before watching the new show. Just so I have some background to it and kind of can compare. But having said that, Mike Flanagan wrote it, he directed it. It's going to be a banger. Mr. Works, I don't know what that means, but that's cool. Stranger Things. Stranger Things. Y'all want to talk about Stranger Things? I loved the ending. I get once again before I get crucified with this. I get why people didn't like it. I see you, I hear you, I understand, but I liked it. My favorite part of the finale was just the epilogue. Like it's crazy. I'm like, man, this make this longer. Make this a 3 hour episode. Like, give me more of that because that's what I love most about Stranger Things is the characters. You can make an argument about the plot lines. You can make an argument about shoot the CGI, like whatever you want to make an argument about. But like the characters are something that I think we can all agree made the show what it is. And just getting that closure with all of them, most of them, it worked really well. So I really like the ending. I need to go watch the trailer for the spinoff, the Tales from '85. I really need to check that out. Shane, I get it. I get it. I always tell people like Stranger Things is a vibe. Like it's got that '80s vibe, and that could be some people's, and it could be not others. So I get it. What's the next like big show? Is it House of the Dragon? I feel like I'm missing something. Oh no, we got let me pull it up. I actually have a list for my recaps. We got a lot of stuff. We have like Daredevil coming out. Um Invincible season 4. I don't know if y'all watch Invincible. I love Invincible. Euphoria, if you're into that. The Boys, the final season, pretty cool. Yes, there's some pretty big shows coming out. Very different from one another in one way or another. Any Star Wars fans out here? I want to know what y'all think about the new movie, The Mandalorian and Grogu. I don't know how it's gonna be. I'm a very casual Star Wars fan. I like them, don't love them. I have a lot of them in the Steelbook. I got that for Christmas. I like them, but I'm not gonna sit here and like defend them or act like I know everything about them. As far as The Mandalorian goes, the show is great. Season 3, couldn't really get into. So I need to go back and check that out before the new movie comes out. But yeah, I don't know really what to expect. Yeah, The Boys is good. I need to watch season 4 so I can do my recap on it. But it's always exciting when a show is ending. You know what I mean? So that kind of really gets me wanting to watch, really wanting to watch The Boys. Welcome to Derry season 2. It's gonna be badass. Absolutely, absolutely. Once again, I really like that show. The only downside was the CGI at points, but I mean, that didn't really impact me too much with it. I'm just when I have to, I'm stumbling. When I watch a show or a movie, I'm trying to find something that I don't like so I can tell you all like, hey, everything worked over here, but this didn't. So that's kind of my only gripe with that show. But as far as everything else goes, loved it. Characters, story, all that stuff. And it's exciting to know that this isn't the end. We're gonna go even back further, even though they already went back with those flashbacks. So cool. Like there's just so much they can do with this franchise. Love it. Um, let's see. I'm doing all right. I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. How are you doing? Anti-Trump BS ruined the boys. Horrible writing. Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch season 4 yet, so but that's what I heard was going on. I mean, it is what it is. I Yeah, I don't really have anything to say about that. Love Star Wars, all 6 movies. All six. Yeah, I like that. I like that statement. For me, I like all six and Rogue One. I do not play Roblox. Do I like the Band Gorillas? Sure. I haven't listened to them in years, but yeah, they're okay. Johansson Mason, what's going on? Let's see. Anyone watch Monarch, the Godzilla? It's like, yeah, the Godzilla show on Apple TV. That next season's coming out soon, and that should be pretty cool. I binged it when I got Apple TV. You saw it? Cool, nice. I like that show. I think it's pretty cool. It's like a good complement to the movies that are going very crazy spectacle. Like we're going to space in the next one. You know what I mean? Like so, this is a nice like character study, getting us like with the characters. So I like that. So we'll see how this one goes. You drew that? Nice, nice. Pennywise is so cool, and even the original, like Tim Curry, there's just something about him. Which he's a clown, he's colorful, but there's just something about both versions of Pennywise that are just so like you can't look away. They're so enticing to look at, and it's just so creepy. And yeah, Pennywise is the man. Yeah, Shane. I think that's kind of what the issue is. You know what I mean? When you do something, anything political, in my eyes, and once again, I try to stay away from all that crap. But if you're gonna do anything political, you're taking a risk to piss off like, the other side. So they knew what they were doing and they still went with it. What I'm interested to see, and I haven't looked it up, but I wonder how the views for season 4 went and how season 5 is gonna go. You know what I mean? Was it impacted by that? Was it not? Like, who knows? Let's see. Yeah, so like I said, I'm gonna be seeing 28 years later Bone Temple next week. I think it's gonna be awesome. Um, the fact that people are saying it's amazing, and those are the same people that didn't really care for the first one, are saying that's just like icing on the cake. You watch any anime at all? I'm excited for the third season of that. So I do not watch anime. Um, I like some anime. I'm not big on it. I grew up watching Dragon Ball Z and Gundam and stuff like that. As far as when I got older, um, the one that stood out to me the most that I like truly loved, binged the whole thing was Death Note. So other than that, no, not so much. I'm hoping one day. I'm hoping that one day I find something else to watch that like just really grabs me. Because when it grabs me, it grabs me. But it's not often, and I know I'm missing out. I know 100% I'm missing out on a lot of good stuff as far as anime goes. I went to last year. Me and my wife we went to, was it Singapore? No, it was Universal Studios in Japan, and we went there during Halloween Horror Nights, and there was this Chainsaw Man like 4D experience thing. So we got to check that out, and that was really cool. No idea the dynamic between all the characters, but it was just a cool thing to see. So Chainsaw Man seemed pretty cool, but I haven't seen any of the shows. Oh, I watched Pokemon when I was a kid too, of course. What's up, Jackson? That'd be interesting. Ronnie goes to the sewers and the others go to the school. Maybe. Well, no, because season 2 is supposed to go 20 however many years in the past, right? So Ronnie wouldn't even be alive at that point. Yeah, I don't think that would work, unfortunately. Which is kind of sad because, like I said, I like the characters a lot in this show, especially the kids. I know that there were the adults in there and the military and all that stuff. And honestly, the military thing, other than like Dick and everybody, like I didn't really care for them. The main military guy, fantastic actor. What's his name? What is this dude's name? Um, Dude's phenomenal. He's in so many things. James Remar, General Shaw. His character bugged me. His character bugged me so much in that show. Good God. But yeah, the kids. I wish we got more of the kids, and I wish that we were gonna get more of some of these characters, but I don't know how they would do that. Dog Five, what's up? What's going on? There's a new anime called Sentenced to be a Hero. Let me look it up. I like the art style. That looks pretty cool. Because yeah, like anime has a lot of different. Not everything looks the same, but what's this on? On Crunchyroll? I don't have Crunchyroll, but maybe I'll look up a trailer and check it out. And I think my buddy has Crunchyroll. I wonder if I can use you know, his stuff to sign on. I'll check it out. You have 14 subs. What's your channel about, Dog Five? Well, the area would burrito the area would still exist. So their plan was to do Dog Five. Thank you for the sub. Um, their plan is to go back every generation for 3 seasons. So, but it's so odd because that was the plan from the jump. But they gave us the origin. They went back all that time to the what I'm assuming season two is going to be about. Once again, I don't have all the details, but I know for a fact that that was their plan. So we'll see what happens. Another thing. 9 out of 10 people really liked Welcome to Derry. You know what I'm saying? But um, the issue with this, and this is an issue for every single show out there, maybe except for The Pit because they were able to get a new season out in a year, is we're going to be waiting forever for this. It's so upsetting because TV shows take forever to film, right? It's 8 hours as opposed to movies like 2 hours, right? So there's a lot that they have to do. Well, now they have to write the damn thing. They have to film it. Like, there's just so much. Like, I would not be surprised if we didn't get Welcome to Derry if they fast track it until like the end of 28, probably more so 29, which is just too long. It's like way too long to like keep people waiting. It's awful. Oh, I'll check it out on Netflix then. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's on here because I do know that there are differences in regions in what they have. I actually think, man, like the theme of this live stream has been like Mike Flanagan, because and the reason I say that is because we talked about a few of his movies, um, but I think Mike Flanagan is writing. I don't know if it's a show or a movie, but yeah, he's doing something with the Dark Tower, and I've never read it. I just like last year I just recently got back into reading. My wife started and then, I wanted something to do with her, so I started reading and the it's yeah, I don't know. That's going to be interesting because The Dark Tower is so intimidating because it's such a massive book and there's multiple, right? So that's going to be like my 2027 start it and get them all throughout the year, but that's going to be cool. Burrito, would you want that as far as if that's kind of the route that they're going, or do you think it should be connected in that way or not? Kind of like what they did with this season, where there's a little bit of lineage to the kids in the first movie in chapter one, but it's not like a direct bloodline of every single one. I think that there should be some connection, but maybe not like across the board. Let's see. Oh, a Stephen King movie that came out this year that I did not see is The Long Walk. And I'm kind of kicking myself because not like I was trying to go out of my way not to see it because I do want to see it. It was just one of those situations. I think I was on vacation. Yeah, I think it was the same time One Battle After Another came out. And I just never got around to see it. And I know I need to. But I've avoided so much of it already. Maybe I'll just read the book. I don't know. But I do need to check that out because the other two movies that came out, The Life of Chuck and The Monkey, they were okay. Not what I expected from either one. So I think The Long Walk would probably have ended up being my favorite of the year from him. Or one of his stories, I should say. Let's see. What's up, WWE guy? I'm just stuttering all morning, guys. I don't know what's wrong with me. There's a new show on Netflix that just came out called His and Hers. I know it's a mystery show. It's got John Bernthal and Tessa Thompson. I've seen one person talk about it, one of these like bigger YouTube people or TikTok. I don't remember which one, and they really recommend it, and I'm gonna have to check that out because those are some two really good actors. I just don't know what to expect. I've stayed away from it, so maybe that's the best time to go in. Have any of y'all seen that yet? Oh yeah, the original It is fantastic. Yeah, they're so different. You know what I mean? I feel like, and I do feel like, well, I don't know. I guess it could be different for everybody, but like that was the movie that I grew up with. I remember walking through the video store, like Blockbuster or something, down the horror aisle, and I was small. You know what I mean? And I saw the cover for it, and once again, like we talked about earlier, you see Pennywise, and you just cannot look away. I was so just like mesmerized by this thing, scared but mesmerized, and then I eventually saw it like a couple years later. Pretty scary. Um, and once again, there is some CGI in that, but not necessarily with Pennywise. And I really do appreciate that approach to it. So it sounds like Brito. It sounds like it's gonna be because of what happens in Welcome to Derry. We're gonna get the same um, Pennywise in the clown suit or in the clown form, since that's what he was in the past. But I don't know. Like that's the thing that I like about the show. That's probably the thing that I like most about the show is that they have they have full creative control essentially. You know what I mean? Like it's not constrained by the book that Stephen King wrote. They can do whatever they want. And if that means that he shows up in a different form, I'm all for it. I thought that that's kind of what we were going to get in this season. I don't hate the clown suit, but I can see a world where maybe season 3, it might even be season 2 where people are like, "Okay, he looks the same." Like we are getting so used to Pennywise where it's not the same effect, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Skarsgård's the man, so he can do whatever. Lincoln, thank you so much for the 10 jewels. Yeah, I am congested today, y'all. Not a good look. Did y'all see that there was, I don't know if any of y'all watched this, Jackass. There's a new Jackass coming out this summer. So it was like a surprise like announcement. So you have to assume that they don't it doesn't take a lot to film those things. So I'm sure they were just like, wanna make another one? Let's do it. And then they probably filmed it in like 2 months or something like that. How's everyone feeling about Supergirl? Have y'all seen the trailer for that yet? That came out. The trailer dropped what, like 2 or 3 weeks ago? I think it looks pretty cool. The new season of It, you think is coming out in March or August? I don't think they've started filming it yet. I don't even know if they've started the writing process. But man, I hope so. I really do. I just like I said, these gaps between shows are just killer on like the momentum, on like everyone's hyped for it. And then you run into the issue of people something happening to the people that are in the show, whether they get older, whether they don't. Like look at Stranger Things. Stranger Things is probably one of the best modern examples of what happens when you wait so long. And once again, I get it that these things take time. I get that. But when you have to wait every season to be greenlit, that's when you run into the issue. The show on Prime Video, Invincible, the animated show, I know that there was a massive gap between seasons 1 and 2, right? I think that's what it was. And then 3 came out, I think, a year later, which is good. And then they already greenlit 4 and 5, right? So we're getting 4, and I believe they are already well into 5. So like that's what I want to see. And I understand that it takes time, and I understand studios aren't gonna like throw money at this thing that may not work. But when you have something that's established, get like 2 seasons deep, like 2 seasons like greenlit. That way they can just keep rolling. But my favorite anime character, probably Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. Probably. I don't have high hopes for the new Jackass. Everyone's getting old. Yeah, yeah, and that's kind of what the last one was. Is they had to bring in the other people, and yeah, yeah, and that's the thing. There's going to be a point where these characters, not these characters, I'm talking about movies, where these people aren't going to be able to come back and do these things. They might be there, standing there and laughing and having a good time, but like the days of seeing Johnny Knoxville doing these crazy things, it's going to come to an end. And do we want another Jackass without the main people there? I don't think so. You and Vegeta have the same hairline. Nice. Pebble has thinking cap. What? All right, y'all. So I think I'm gonna wrap this up here. I do have to get ready for work and all that other stuff. But thank you all for joining. Thank you for the interactions talking about movies. I think so. 2027 could most definitely happen. Burrito, I think so. Hopefully for like an October, do the same thing that they did this year and drop it around the spooky season. And I think a lot of people gravitate towards it. Yeah, it seems like it was really well received. So I can't wait for another one. But keep a lookout for some videos this week. I'm going to go see the Bone Temple on Thursday or Friday. I'll get that review out. And I'll be here next Saturday doing this again in the morning. So once again, thank you all for being here. You're awesome. And I hope to see you all next week for more movie talk, all right? Everyone have a great day. Have a great week. And yeah, just have a good day. See ya.